Good morning and welcome to the Three Ball Podcast, where college basketball lives beyond the arc. I'm ACC Adam,
I'm coast to coast Chapman.
And I'm Deep Dive David.
and we are just three dudes who are crazy about college basketball. And guys, it is officially NBA draft season. It is not college basketball time on the Three Ball. And today we are going to dive all the way into the players that we think are going to improve this draft. And oh my gosh, it is loaded.
hmm
Absolutely loaded. And in this episode, we'll be conducting a full first round mock draft, breaking down every pick, giving NBA player comparisons for every prospect, and discussing how the selection can impact the future of the franchises that choose these players. We'll talk team fits, player fits, potential steals, and everything that we need to. And one disclaimer before we get started, this mock draft is based on what we would do personally if we were running each team, not necessarily what we think is right for the teams each draft night. Believe it or not, we're not in the front office. So unfortunately, maybe one day we will be, but we're focusing on fit and upside and not trying to predict which players would fit in which places. So with
Yeah.
that out of the way, I say let's roll and let's dive into it with the first overall pick. Chapman, I'm going to give this one to you. Who do you think goes number one?
With the first pick in the NBA draft, the Washington Wizards select AJ Dybantsa from
Yeah.
BYU. I mean, look at his highlights of this guy this year. He feels like a star. First freshman to lead the country in scoring since Trey Young. Just explosive, super athlete, great rim pro, height 6'9", 217. Kind of feels like what can he do? I mean, one thing we all want to see him develop is that three-pointer. I don't feel worried about that. It feels kind of like a win, not an if deal. Our
hmm
NBA comparison, again, like this is high praise for him, but it's like a taller Shea. He can get to the free throw line. He's going to dictate an offense. He's going to demand a defense's attention at all points. Maybe also another comparison is like a young Paul George. Again, pre-developed a jumper, but still explosive athlete, can defend 1 through 5. Not really any doubt about that. Again, he feels like he's a 6'9" guard, just a rarity. Immediately upgrades the Wizards. A great compliment to, again, as we already mentioned, Trey Young and Alex Sarr for, again, just they give him floor spacing and he'll go score the basketball.
Oh, yeah.
He's proven at BYU he can carry the load. Joins a very young core that is going to be exciting. We don't know for sure how exactly the Wizards are going to rotate their roster. Are they going to try to compete this year with Anthony Davis and Trey Young? Are they kind of building for the future? So we're excited for that, but he is going to be a star and he will make them better.
So
On to
you
pick
don't
Yeah.
you don't
two.
you don't have Peterson at number one? That's a,
On to
that's a
pick
take,
number
but
two.
I think you're right. For the Wizards, I think that Dybantsa is the perfect prospect that they
I
could
agree.
have. And yeah, as you said, he's a compliment to Alex Sarr, Trey Young. He's going to get some coaching from AD, obviously that veteran presence. So,
hmm
I mean, the Wizards, it's weird to say, but they're looking good.
They're in a good spot. Being in
After
the
getting
Yes.
East
83
helps.
pieced by Bam Adebayo, they somehow have a future. The NBA moves in mysterious ways.
Oh, goodness.
Literally, I cannot believe they let Bam score 83, but they got
They can't
rewarded for
either.
it.
Yep. The
They got
Wizards
rewarded
created a
for it.
meme. They
Yes.
created a meme.
All right, David, you got the second pick. Who do you
With
think
the
is
sec
going number
with
two?
the second pick in the NBA draft, the Utah Jazz select Cameron Boozer from Duke University. And
Whoa,
guys,
okay.
here we go. All right, let's break down Cam Boozer first before we talk about the NBA fit. He's 6'8", 252 with a 7'4" wingspan. That's insane for a 6'8" person. He was Naismith Player of the Year. He averaged 22 points and 10 rebounds. And guys, he's shot nearly 40% from three, which I think no one really thinks about, to be honest with you, in his game. But that's really freaking impressive. And why the Jazz? Well, we look at the Jazz roster and you think, okay, they have Lowry Markkanen, they have Walker Kessler, they have Jaren Jackson. They got a lot of size. But Walker Kessler's in a contract dispute, and the Lowry Markkanen's been on the trade market for a little bit now. And so I see him kind of being a cheaper, younger option. To be honest with you, they don't have to pay. And also, Carlos Boozer, his dad, played for the Jazz and is in a front office role. So that helps as well,
That
too.
does help. Yeah, you're
And so
right.
an NBA comparison I have for him is like a Zach Randolph back in the day, grit and grind, Grizzlies guy, lefty, crafty, bigger body that can really get to the rim. And then guys, Tim Duncan. I'm sorry, like that's his ceiling. Like
Heavy D?
that is his
Oh.
ceiling. That's
Best
his
power forward
ceiling.
of all time?
That is his
Wow.
ceiling.
Okay.
Okay, he's got a better jump shot than Tim Duncan. He cannot defend as well. But I think if he, in this era, can learn how to score in three levels and defend 2 through 5, like I don't, 5 championships is a lot, right? He's not with the Spurs. He's not walking into Popovich, but that is the ceiling. But I have complete confidence that he's going to walk onto the Jazz and his rookie year average like 15 points and 10 rebounds. Like his floor is the highest floor of like anybody in the NBA draft, in my opinion. But
That's
there you
very
go.
fair. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but with the third overall pick, I now have to select Darryn Peterson for the Memphis Grizzlies. I mean, yes, you can talk about the fact that he sat out a lot. You know who else sat out a lot in college? Kyrie Irving did. And he ended up pretty well in
Hmm.
the NBA. And, I mean, this guy's 6'4", he's 199, he's a dynamic scorer. He had his ups and downs in college, but his ups were like, holy crap, this guy's a world beater. And his downs were like, oh, dang, he only scored 10 points. I mean, he dominated the matchup with AJ Dybantsa. He's an elite scorer in all three phases. He gets to the rim. He has a sweet mid-range jumper, just like Darius Acuff, who we'll obviously get to later. And his three ball is great. And I mean, that's all that you really need in the modern NBA. I mean, his NBA comp, in my opinion, you can tell me if I'm wrong. I think it's Devin Booker. And I mean, dude, D-Book, he is incredible. He's an elite scorer in all those phases that I just mentioned. The defense, yeah, it's okay, but that's something that can be developed. And I mean, Memphis needs a fan favorite. They need
Yep.
somebody who's going to take that ball and score because they're probably going to trade John Morant. And if that doesn't end
Mhm.
up happening, it would be cinema to see Darryn Peterson and John Morant in
The
a
backcourt.
on the court together. That would be that would be so much fun. And I mean, yeah, you got Zach Edey there, who's a good piece. He'll hold down the paint. And Cedric Howard, like Jackson, they have 3-and-D potential, and they need a bucket. And Darryn Peterson is a walking bucket if he can get on the court. And I think that, I mean, he has everything that can translate to the next level. And the fact that we think he'll fall to 3, absurd. Absurd. I think he goes number 1
He
personally.
could go one.
He could go
That's
1. We'll see what NBA draft front offices think of the way he conducted himself in college, but I mean, anyone 1 through 5 could feasibly go number. I mean,
yeah.
this draft is spectacular. And
We see
Chapman,
college Darren Peterson, I think, is
yes,
what's in our head. Yep.
yes,
Because we are
exactly.
a college basketball
Yes.
podcast.
We don't know what he could be in the pros, but we all know that he could be spectacular if he wants to be.
Yep.
And with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to you again, Chapman. Who do you have for number 4?
At number 4, the Chicago Bulls select Caleb Wilson from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
Yep, very
I
fair.
mean, athletic freak, 6'9", 211. He averaged 20 and 9 in college on 58% shooting. He's a fascinating player because he played like a 4 a lot of times, but he's a super like athletic wing. So he's just
Yeah.
like that type that NBA love. And again, I think NBA have seen this type of guy be great. They've seen this type of guy kind of faltered, struggled to develop a little bit. I mean, again, like the thing that jumps off you is his athleticism. He can dominate physically, but again, going back to as we said for number 1, needs to work on his shooting. And again, feels kind of like a win not if deal. Everyone in the NBA can shoot. Caleb Wilson will get it. His NBA comparison, similar, like a more athletic Pascal Siakam, which is kind of crazy to say. Maybe some of the fundamentals he needs to get down. And I think all the way up to his ceiling is Giannis, that dominating forward that demands the attention of the defense and can just run through you and score.
Mhm.
Thinking back to Chicago, they've kind of been in a weird stretch of late. They need somebody to sell tickets. Caleb Wilson will sell tickets. I mean, he's the highlight player that fans are gonna want to come see what he's gonna do. Upside's gigantic. You look at their team; they have Giddy, they have Buzelis, good players. But again, they just need that one other star guy that can take them to again for them in the foreseeable future. It's compete for the play-in, add another piece or two, and get into competing for the playoffs. And again, he feels like that type of guy that's going to put the butts in seats and then get them to that next level. In future, they're going to need one more thing to get them further. But you got to love his future and what he can do in Chicago.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that I think is interesting in this draft is that one, two, three, and four, in my opinion, unless you have a draft with Cooper Flag or Victor Wembanyama, would go first in the majority of NBA drafts. Caleb
Yes.
Wilson, Darryn Peterson, AJ Dybantsa, Cameron Boozer. I mean, those guys, they are all potential first overall picks.
Yeah. When in
And
the 24 draft, when Shea went first, any of these guys would have went first.
anyone,
Any of them.
uh, absolutely agree.
Like we
And
went all the way down to like Darius Acuff going first in that draft.
that draft was not good, bro.
No.
They made for
No.
great bench players. Unfortunately, it was a number one pick.
No. No. Shout out to Fawn Castle. He's literally the only good player from that draft.
Yes, yes.
Only great player.
2024
There's good
was
players.
atrocious. It
Whole
was.
whole draft of good players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
One
will
thing
say this
I'm.
though. Oh,
You go, David. You got it.
hey, scouting Caleb Wilson for this draft made me a little FOMO, right? The only player he couldn't guard last year in America somehow was Boopy Miller. So that's all I'm gonna say. I don't know how that happened, but
That movie magic will get you sometimes. What can we
yeah,
say?
they were showing Caleb Wilson his like what he needed to work on, and it was Boopy's show and go pretty much, which made me feeling some things walking out of Moody that day. But we won't talk about the collapse. This is an NBA draft podcast, and
It is an
unfortunately,
NBA draft
Boopy
We'll
is
have
not
podcast.
to be
getting
mentioned
drafted.
today.
And
So
one important thing that I think the front offices need to focus on is the fact that Caleb Wilson did suffer a season-ending injury last year. It's not an ACL tear. It's not anything that could affect his lower body mobility, but it is that right hand, and I believe he broke his thumb.
yeah, in the
And
Miami game.
yeah, in the Miami game, I mean, it's obviously a very unfortunate circumstance. Luckily, the thumb can recover faster than the majority of the injuries, obviously, I just mentioned, but it's kind of the best case scenario for a season-ending injury. But we'll see how Chicago, if they select him,
Yep.
can kind of play around that and make sure that he's comfortable in the NBA while still recovering.
Last
But
time
moving
they
on,
took a, last time they took a dude from Carolina, it turned out all right. So
yeah, no, I mean, Michael Jordan was okay. He was
All-time
pretty
what if
good.
player in the tournament, Caleb Wilson.
Yeah.
All-time.
oh yeah, for sure.
Completely
Cool.
agree. And now we're going to move on to number five. David, sending it back to you. Who do you
Let's do
got?
it. With the fifth pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Los Angeles Clippers select Keaton Wagler from the University of Illinois. And guys, this is a guy who burst onto the scene. He wasn't one of we always heard about the five stars in this class. He wasn't one of them. This was his best offer. And guys, he really burst onto the scene when he dropped 40 points at Purdue. And that's when I was like, okay, the world is going to know Keaton Wagler. He averaged 18 on the year, 40% from three, and led Illinois to their first Final Four since 2005. And guys, when I think of NBA comparisons, I think of CJ McCollum as a great comparison. And you're going to be thinking, yeah, well, CJ McCollum is kind of old now, but when he was right on the Blazers, him and Dame were nice. And CJ was a legit from three, ball dominant, and he could just control the Blazers super well. And I think that's what Wagler is going to bring because they already have Darius Garland. And so Wagler is going to bring the size to the backcourt that the Clippers need because he's going to have to defend in the NBA. He didn't have to as much at Illinois because they had length everywhere. But
Every Isage.
but yeah, literally every European on the face of the earth was in Champaign last year. But that's a different story. But when you have Kawhi Leonard on your team, you can sag off defensively a little bit. He picks up a lot of slack on that end. So, but I just see I see star written all over Wagler. He's 6'5", 188. He's one of the bigger guards in the class, and I genuinely think that is why he's going up number five and not a Darius Garland or Mikel Brown or not Darius Garland, Darius Acuff and a Mikel Brown and Kingston Flemings. Yeah, so. That's who I would take. Keaton Wagler. I think he's got star written all over him. And Chap, I know it's a little rough for the Pacers, but That's what they got for Zubac, I guess.
We gambled. We gambled. Sometimes it hits and sometimes it doesn't hit. So that's what
Yep.
happened to Pacers. Tough, but we move.
Yep. They still got
Majority of the
Halliburton.
time with the Pacers, it doesn't hit. Is
Yeah.
is a lesson from history,
Yes.
unfortunately. Even
If
if
you
you're
are
in
San
the NBA
Antonio, you should
Finals.
be gambling. If you are Indiana, you shouldn't be
Yeah,
gambling.
literally.
Take that to the
Absolutely.
bank.
Absolutely. Yes. San Antonio needs to gamble all that they have, and they do, and they win.
Yep.
Um, Moving on, number six. With the sixth overall pick in the NBA draft, the Brooklyn Nets select Darius Acuff from the University of Arkansas. This guy is incredible. I pray to the Lord Almighty that he falls to the Dallas Mavericks, but he won't. He's going number six. And that's because he led the SEC in scoring at 23 points a game on 44% from three. He had over
Crazy.
six assists, or he had over six assists and an assist to turnover ratio of over three,
Yeah.
which means that he can handle the ball well. He's a smaller Jalen Brunson, which, going back to the Mavericks, dang, we really missed out on that one. I mean, he fits the Nets perfectly. He's young. He's the best option talent-wise at number six. They have 5 first-round picks last year, and they didn't even land their guy. They're in a major media market, and they had no one. They have Michael Porter Jr., who's their best player. So he was
And
their
now their
best offensive
crosstown rival
last year.
has a chip. It's only
Yeah.
worse.
They need
Yeah.
to do something. And they're gonna likely move on Porter soon via trade or free agency. So they have a void to fill. They need a bucket getter, and that bucket getter is Darius Acuff. No question about it. He's proven it in college. And if you're thinking of, oh, who trained this guy? Oh, John Calipari, the guard whisperer. I mean,
Yep.
it's just perfect. I wouldn't be surprised if Acuff went fourth. I mean, actually, I would be. I wouldn't be surprised if he went fifth. I would be very surprised if he went fourth. But this guy is incredible. Watching him at the University of Arkansas last year was a treat to watch. And I do not like the SEC, but I tuned in just to watch this guy play basketball. So that's what I got for the number sixth overall pick. Now, number seven, Chapman, who we got here?
At number 7, the Sacramento Kings select Mikel Brown Jr. from the University of Louisville.
Dog.
What a player. 6'4", 190. That was his measurements from the draft combine. I was surprised by that. He plays like he's 6'6", 6'7". I mean, averaged 8 calm it. Averaged 18 a game, a great three-level scorer, best game of the year, 45 piece NC State, 10 threes, a scorer, bona fide scorer. I will say, coming out of college, he did have a lot of like back injuries and little injuries here and there. So I think there's some concern there. Again, that's not one of those like major like season career dangerous ones, but it's one to be mindful of. And I think it probably cost him a little bit in stock come now. NBA comparison for him, this is going to feel a little like we'll see. Jordan Poole, a guy like just a microwave. Will when you need it, he'll get it. He might get a bucket. He might airball the three. So of a lot of times he will warm up the shot. Again, it's Sacramento. They kind of have a weird roster. You look at the ages. You look at the players. You kind of thought they would be better than last year. In last year when some teams were tanking, the Indiana Pacers. They weren't really tanking. They had a good team on paper, and he's walking into a situation with great vets: DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Westbrook. It feels like they should have been better than how they ended up being. And they also have other great talent as well. Maxi Reynaud from Stanford, Keegan Murray. So it feels like they both have a like now path to play in game, maybe a playoff appearance here and there, and also a core to build on. I think Mikel Brown will be a great contributor into that situation.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, this guy's a spectacular player. I loved watching him at Louisville, and I loved whenever SMU beat Louisville while he was on the floor. Um, but I mean, this guy is amazing. And yeah, you mentioned the back issues a little bit. That is to cause concern, and maybe it causes him to slip below seven. But I mean, you can't go wrong selecting this guy. Even if he's unfit, he's incredible when he's on the floor, and that's all
Yeah.
that matters.
Another person that had back issues was Michael Porter Jr., and that boy can fill up the bucket still. So I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
worried about Brown. And
Absolutely.
Porter fell in the lottery to 14, ended up in Denver. So if he falls, it's probably to a better team. So there you
Yeah.
go.
Or the Mavericks. Please. Please. I need
According to Adam, the Mavericks have like 15 picks. So
we have two, and neither of them are good, unfortunately.
yeah.
Unfortunately. But
You
David, number 8, who is it?
yeah. With the 8th pick, the 2026 NBA draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Labaron Philon from the University of Alabama. And guys, this is someone I'm really high on. He
Ooh.
is coming out and he's a sophomore. And so people are questioning that because of his age. Chapman and I had a long conversation about if he's your guy, go get him, right? Even if he's 1 year older, like go get him. And I'll tell you why he's snuck up on draft boards for me. He's going to get minutes as a rookie because his first year at Alabama, he was not the guy. They had Mark Sears, right? And he still averaged 10 a game, spot shooter, found a role, got the rebounds, did what he had to do to get on the floor. And then the second year, he was a bucket. He went from 10 to 18 points a game. He was 40% from three, guys. And against Michigan, who was probably the best defensive team in the country, he had 35 points and was 42% from three. So he can score against length. And guys, his unique character, he's also 6'3", 176, which was on the taller side of this draft with a Mikel Brown. And so I think that also helps him out a lot. And guys, Atlanta needs guard play. They have Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Onyeka Okongwu, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, a lot of guys in like the 6'6", 6'10" range that can handle the ball. They need a guard. They obviously got rid of Trae Young. They got better defensively. And yes, this guy played in an 8-0 system, so he's not really a lockdown defender. But who knows? Because NATO's teams don't play defense, so who knows if he can even defend,
God
right?
knows that.
So Atlanta does need someone who can spread the floor because right now the best shooter on their roster is Corey Kispert, who was an awesome college player, but it hasn't really panned out in the NBA. So Atlanta needs shooting. They need some spice at the point guard position. And guys, I think Philon is going to be able to I don't think he's going to have to start day one in Atlanta, but he's going to play minutes. And I think that's because of the experience he had being 2 years in college in different roles. So that's who I got going to Atlanta at 8.
Yeah, that's very fair. Shout out to Corey Kispert, man. Gonzaga legend, bro.
Yeah. I was like, oh my goodness, he's in Atlanta. Yeah, that's
I have
quite a
not kept up with him in a while, bro.
Yeah. He was with the Wizards for a while.
Yes.
They got him in that Trae Young deal.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
All right.
That's probably why you haven't kept up with him because he was with the Wizards.
Facts, the Wizards are terrible. With the 9th overall pick, the Dallas Mavericks select Aday Mara from the University of Michigan. And let me explain this one because
Yeah.
I know a lot of Mavericks fans are going to say,
They have two
Adam,
centers.
yes, Adam, Kingston Flemings is still on the board. Why are you selecting Aday Mara? And why do you think that the Dallas Mavericks, and why does that fit? Here's the thing. He's 7'3", 260. And one thing Mavericks fans know better than anyone is that Derek Lively cannot stay healthy. When he's on the floor, he's incredible. Lively is. But whenever you are in the West with players like Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren, you have to have healthy bigs. You have to. And Daniel Gafford cannot be your number one option. So Aday Mara at 7'3", 260 is that guy. He's a Wemby stopper. I don't think anyone can stop Wemby. But if anyone can, it's this guy.
He's a Wemby slower. We'll change the definition. He's a Wemby slower.
He's a Wemby slower. And he's a Chet stopper because he has 2.6 blocks a game. He helped Michigan win that. Michigan doesn't win that national championship without him. His field goal percentage in college increased 22% under good coaching. So we know that whoever's the coach of the Dallas Mavericks is going to mold this guy into the player that he needs to be. NBA comp, in my opinion, Walker Kessler, that doesn't really inspire much confidence, but he is going to be exactly what the Mavericks need him to be, which is somebody who can slow down Wemby, somebody who can slow down all of the big talent that is in the West. And unfortunately, Kingston Fleming's right there at number 10, maybe number 11. We'll see what Chapman decides. But I think Aday Mara is the perfect pick for the Dallas Mavericks. He's not a sexy pick, but it's what we need. And I think that's what the Mavericks go and choose. But number 10, Chapman, who do you got?
The Milwaukee Bucks select Kingston Flemings from the University of Houston. There you go.
There he is.
Again, star freshman chose to play for Calvin Sampson. Good decision. I mean, that's a guy that's going to teach you how to be a dog. And he was a dog. Averaged 16 points per game on just a defensive Houston team. He shot 39% from three, took over games. Biggest game of the year, 42 points at Texas Tech. I mean, he can score the basketball. NBA comp. This was a tough one. David and I really struggled thinking through this one, so it's a little bit of you're gonna have to listen for a second. Jeff Teague with an ability to get downhill and a 40-inch vertical, a stud athlete can score the basketball. You have to listen to it. You have to close your eyes and imagine it to get it. But again,
I
like
got it.
think
I
about how
got
he
it.
fits on Milwaukee. They're in a really weird spot. Is
Yeah.
Giannis coming back? There's that one tweet I thought it was a joke where it's like he wants to be in Milwaukee. He doesn't want to play for the Bucks. Is he going to the Packers? We don't know. We don't know what's happening over there with Giannis. So I mean, looking at their roster, it feels like they've kind of let their roster just degrade year to year. They lost Holiday, they lost Middleton. It feels like they've just gotten worse with Giannis. So they're kind of in a rut. Coaching's always been a mess. So again, we think Kingston Flemings is the best pick for them. You look at their guards, AJ Green, Ryan Rollins. They gotta get better at the point to get Giannis some help if he's the guy of the future. If not, this is a great player to put in your team and make you better. They got their front court even without Giannis. They got Miles Turner, they got Kuzma, they got Bobby Portis. So they just need to get better at guard, and we'll see what the future looks like. We'll see what the return looks like. Are they going to go into a full rebuild? Are they going to go into a pivot? We don't know yet. And maybe he stays. We don't fully know. Milwaukee, up to you.
Yeah, that's a great pick for Milwaukee. If I'm a Bucks fan, I am celebrating with everything that I have at the
Yeah.
prospect that we could get Kingston Flemings. I mean, he is
Giannis might be the only
incredible.
person in America that wants to live in Milwaukee.
Hey, no, I know one other person. Shout out to Kevin Hildebrand, a friend from college. He loves Wisconsin and he loves Milwaukee for some
Oh, goodness.
unforsaken reason.
Gotta
Yeah.
love the
I mean,
passion.
Giannis, he's from Greece, so we can't really be that surprised that he likes Milwaukee. Greece is not the greatest right
And
now,
the
but
water's beautiful.
it's a great for tourism, not for living.
Yeah, that's fair. Yep.
But yeah, if I'm a Bucks fan, whew, Kingston Flemings makes my team so much better. So much better.
hmm
All right, David, number 11, who you
Yes, love.
got?
All right. With the 11th pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Golden State Warriors select Brayden Burries from the University of Arizona. And guys, this is a do-it-all type of guy. 6'4", 215, and probably still growing. And he's another guy that his biggest knock is his age, or he'd probably be going higher. He's going to turn 21 this NBA season as a freshman in college. So he kind of pulled that like David Hudgens academic route, We're just going to get really old really quick. And so I kind of like it though. But Derek White's a great comparison. He's the type of guy that you're not going to go, oh my goodness, he's going to out jump you or he's going to guard you number one. But he's a guy that you can plug on a Warriors team that can play legit minutes. And he can set screens, he can rebound, he can shoot the three, he can guard. He can do anything you want. And then when a Steph rises into the sunset, he could be your guy. He could be the guy that takes over a franchise that honestly, we don't know what's going to look like after Steph Curry. And he's a great piece to build around for longevity. And he's also the type of guy that he plugged and play on an older Arizona team. Jaden Bradley was older, and he hung just fine. And so I think Steve Kerr is going to fall in love with this guy and be able to build him. And I think Derek White is the best comparison. And if you're comparing to someone to Derek White, he's probably going to have a 15-year NBA career and win multiple championships. I think that's a great comparison for Brayden Burries.
Yeah, that's very fair. I mean, I can't imagine this guy getting taught under Steph Curry. That is unfair on so
Yeah,
many levels. So this would be a great pick. And the fact that we're at number 11 in the draft, and we have tons more players to go.
tons.
But the fact that we're like, oh yeah, this guy, this freshman, he could play immediately in the NBA, and
Yeah.
I would not be shocked at all. And we're at number 11. This doesn't normally happen for NBA drafts, but this one is just so special, man. So special.
Yep.
Well, now, Adam, tell us about number 12 talking about can play now.
Oh God.
Literally the definition of can play now.
With the 12th overall pick, the Oklahoma City Thunder. God, I hate this team so much, man. Let me just talk about this team first. We were all joking in high school that they were trading all their picks for middle schoolers. And
Mm-hmm.
now, all of a sudden, I'm graduated from college, and the middle schoolers are ready for the NBA draft. And
Yeah.
the Oklahoma City Thunder is in the best position on planet Earth. And with the 12th overall pick, via Los Angeles Clippers pick, they select Yaxel Lendeborg from the University of Michigan.
I
And
assure
God,
you, he was not in middle school when you were making those jokes. This
Yeah,
was a
literally.
middle schooler.
He old.
no,
He one of us.
yes. But I mean, oh my gosh. I feel dirty talking about the fact that Yaxel Lendeborg could go to this Oklahoma City Thunders team. 6'9", 241, the cornerstone of that Michigan team that won a national championship. He played all 5 positions for them, which is disgusting at 6'9". If he wasn't 1,000 years old, he would be a top pick, top 5 at least, maybe challenging Caleb Wilson. He's a 3-level floor scorer, and he is a 3-and-D guy. I mean, this guy can play right now. His NBA comp right now, PJ Washington. I mean, he fits. The Thunder need somebody who can play now. They don't need prospects. They don't need somebody like Thomas Sorber, and unless they want to be dominant for the rest of my life, which hopefully they don't want to be that. And they have more draft picks right now from all those middle schoolers than roster spots. So they need to make sure that they have somebody that can play along Shea, Chet. That entire team is just disgusting. And Yaxel is just going to be a guy who makes it even more disgusting. So congratulations, Oklahoma City. You're so lucky to get like Yaxel Lendeborg at 12.
Yeah. Hey, him and Jared McCain in the same locker room is TikTok beware. That's all I'm gonna say.
TikTok Live is going to have a field day.
Yeah, they are. They're gonna get some NIL deal post college.
Yes, somehow.
They're gonna have to ban social media in the locker room come March.
Yeah. I fear for their coach, man. Hey, but
Absolutely.
they win, so
That's all that matters.
Google him.
yeah. All right, chap.
With the 13th pick in the NBA draft, the Miami Heat select Karim Lopez from the New Zealand Breakers. This one's a little bit out of our range. He did not play
I
college.
don't know who this guy is, bro.
This required a little extra research and understanding for me to understand who this guy is. I'm seeing him mocked highly, so I had to go look at some clips. I had to read some stories.
Mm.
I'm fascinated by this guy. 6'8", 222, kind of described as he can do everything, but he doesn't do anything amazing. So I'm curious, diving into his stats, he averaged a steal and a block a game. He at the beginning of the year was shooting 40% from three, but kind of tailed off to like lower 30s by the end of the year. So it sounds like it's an up and down shooter guy. I heard his shot selection is phenomenal. Everything I can read is that he is an efficient scorer. NBA comparison I kept coming back to was Denny of Egypt, very quality player to come in.
Oh yeah.
Thinking about Miami Heat again, first of all, when describing who the Miami Heat are going to pick, this feels like a Miami Heat guy.
Yep.
First Mexican player drafted, and who knows how long. Just feels like he's going to be great for the Miami Heat culture they have. Seems like a great role player. Immediately jumps into a team, adds his defense, can guard 2 through 4 pretty seamlessly, adds great size. He'll be helping them fight. He'll be helping Bam Adebayo drop 83 next time. This is going to be a Miami Heat player, it feels like. We'll see.
Yeah. He reminded me of the UAB version of Yaxel Lendeborg, is what he reminded me of in a college
Ooh,
perspective.
okay.
Like, that's like, it's the younger frame, right? He's obviously not 24 like Yaxel's going to be, but he plays that type of way where he can play on the ball, off the ball, can switch 1 through 5, and is not going to eat shots like a Jordan Poole, okay? He's going to be able to plug and play, or if you need him to get 25, he can do that too. That's kind of how he was described in my brain. That's kind of how that worked.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have never heard of this guy before, but I trust y'all. Shout out to the New Zealand Breakers, man.
Bro, they had LaMelo Ball too, so they're doing something right.
They are doing something right. Shout out to them, bro. Shout out to them. All right.
David
Just
gets
a reminder,
14.
folks, we are a college basketball podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll be an international basketball podcast, but for
Oh,
today, it's college basketball.
yep. So back to the college roots with the 14th pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Morez Johnson Jr. from the University of Michigan. Guys,
Third Michigan guy in the lottery,
That's
by the way.
insane.
all from the front court. 6'9", 251. Like we say, he's part of the Michigan trio that will get drafted and won a national championship. And guys, he got better as the season went along and was probably the biggest riser when he got to the NBA Combine. His standing reach was over 7'2", 7'3", elite rebounder. And guys, he was able to do all that while sharing a front court with Yaxel, Lendeborg, and Aday Mara. And Aday Mara's standing reach is 9'9". So to say he's an elite rebounder with sharing a team with a guy who can reach 9'9" is saying something. So I can't wait to see what he does in Charlotte. I think they have Brandon Miller and Miles Bridges, which he can learn a lot from them on the court specifically. That's what we're going to stay at on the court. But their backcourt already has LaMelo Ball, Kobe White, Con Canepo, so they're pretty young there. But so we got to stick with more front court depth. And to be honest with you, the NBA game's just getting bigger. So that's why I think Morez Johnson Jr. goes well here. And it's still weird seeing Charlotte drafting this late. But hey, shout out to them. They had a great year. And I think Morez Johnson Jr. is going to be an amazing fit for him. The NBA comparison is Isaiah Stewart without the fighting. Whereas Johnson Jr. does not fight as much, but he is an incredible rebounder and defender and hustler guy like him, who I think is going to be on an NBA roster for a long time. And I also just see his jump shot getting better with time. So that's just going to make him a better player. So, yeah, I think Charlotte's in great hands with Morez Johnson Jr.
Very fair. Very, very fair. And
He has
now,
15.
well, he's what? Oh, I have
He has
15. I have 15. With the 15th overall pick, the Chicago Bulls via Portland select Nate Ament from the University of Tennessee. I could see this guy going to the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, I think that Mara is needed there, obviously, but 6'10", 211, he's the highest rated player ever to commit to Tennessee, which is honestly kind of surprising given how much success that they've had. He has elite mobility for his size. I mean, we watched him in March. This guy's incredible. I mean, he needs to be more efficient, yeah, but he had to do basically everything for that Tennessee team. And I think that the NBA game is going to give him more space and ability to create. I mean, on like his floor NBA comp for me, Michael Porter Jr. I feel like we're throwing his name around a lot. like we
A lot
like
about Michael Porter.
he's a great player. Like Michael Porter Jr. he's a good player. And for this guy's ceiling, I mean, if he's got the moves, if he gets that jumper silky smooth and ups that efficiency, don't kill me. I see a little bit of Kevin Durant. I see some Kevin Durant in this guy. And we're talking about a guy who we're thinking is going to go number 15. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible. I mean, he fits the Chicago Bulls like a glove. We were talking earlier, they need buckets, they need star power, and this guy can give them both. I mean, they're going to be amazing, assuming they pick Caleb Wilson with Josh Giddey and them. But I mean, those guys, they're not bucket getters. They create space. Nate Ament gets buckets. That is the best way to put it. And if there's somebody that's going to take over offensively for them, it's this guy. So with the 15th overall pick, Nate Ament, welcome to the Chicago Bulls.
If you would have told me the Chicago Bulls before the season got Caleb Wilson and Nate Ament, I would think they had 2 top 5 picks.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Literally. That's kind of wild. That's how you win back a fan base real quick. You show up with Caleb Wilson and Nate Ament on a draft day parade. Yeah, that's good. That's to sell some jerseys for sure.
Yes. Absolutely.
For sure. All right, Chap.
With the 16th pick in the NBA draft, the Memphis Grizzlies via Phoenix select Cameron Carr from Baylor University. 6'5", 184. Absurd. Again, the athlete of the draft. 42.5-inch vertical, 7'2" wingspan. Exploded on the scene at Baylor this year. I kind of was a little quiet coming in, and he was a star. Averaged 18, 37% from three, absolutely the biggest winner at the combine. Again, seeing those measurements on paper, that makes you go, oh. Indian, you watch his highlights, you watch his dunk package, you knew this was coming just because he is angry on his dunk package. NBA comparison coming in, we struggle with this because this is just a super athlete. We said a more athletic Mikel Bridges, and again, I think Mikel Bridges came in a little taller and could defend a little bit better, coming in from the Villanova system. But if he gets to that, he is going to be a 20-year NBA guy if he can do that. And again, thinking about Memphis, they need scoring. They kind of again they're in this position like they need fans, they need scoring. Fits perfectly. They have Walter Clayton. They have Cedric Coward. They need a guy like this. This will be great for their franchise.
Darryn Peterson and Cameron Carr. That's a draft.
Yep. A lot of these teams are getting a great draft. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, I mean 42.5-inch vertical with a 7'2" wingspan is crazy. That's how you have a dunk package right there.
Oh yeah. I mean, this guy. I mean, and also one thing that needs to be mentioned. This continues Baylor's streak of having first round draft picks. Baylor was not good last year by any means or expression of the word. Yet they still are going to have somebody get drafted in the first round, which is hard. Like, it is difficult to do.
Yeah.
Only 30 players go in the first round from the entire world, and Baylor's had like 6 years in a row where they've had a player get drafted in the first round. So, I mean, shout out to Baylor. Scott Drew, we all know he's an amazing coach. But even in a down year for that organization, they still get a player in the draft. And
that's a great shout out.
Yes, they still get a player in the draft.
Shout out. All right, with the 17th overall pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Hannes Steinbach from the University of Washington. And guys, this is someone I'm super high on. Super high on. And in a normal draft, he's a lottery lock. Like, period. He led the nation in rebounding last year, which is absurd. 6'10", 248. Just a motor, too. On a Washington team that gave you every reason to quit, pretty much. And he never did. And so shout out to him for that. And so the NBA comparison is Greg Monroe. A lot of old heads know him, former Milwaukee Bucks, Detroit Pistons, undersized center who just got rebounds. And like, he doesn't have the guard skills of a Charles Barkley, but he can rebound like Charles Barkley. And so that I didn't want to put the Charles Barkley comparison because offensively he's not that, but he can rebound like Barkley. And so that is just something that I think is super impressive. And he's another guy, when you look at this Oklahoma City team, is he fills a role that they need. They don't need a star. They don't need a project. They need someone who's a 3-and-D guy or a hustle guy that can give them minutes on a court. And Steinbach can do that. Steinbach is the physicality to put next to Chet, right? He's someone who can help guard a bigger guy when Chet is too minimized physically, right? And so I think the Thunder are in a win-win position, to be honest with you. And so, and another interesting piece now is there are 3 German guys that Mavericks fans, well, 2 that Maverick fans love, and Dirk Nowitzki and Maxi Kleber. And they're both from Würzburg, Germany. And this guy's also from Würzburg, Germany. So I don't know what that town's doing in Germany, but it's working for NBA big men. And so shout out Hannes Steinbach. I think he's gonna have a long NBA career. I'm very high on him. I was also high on Washington this year. That was before the injuries and before everything collapsed there. Like I said, it gave you everything you wanted to quit on that team, and he didn't. So, but to lead the nation in rebounding as a true freshman is actually kind of crazy. So, yeah.
The Oklahoma City Thunder, if you expanded the NBA to Seattle, hopefully,
and Vegas,
and you took and Vegas, sure, whatever. If you took half of the Oklahoma City Thunder's roster and half their draft picks, you would build a championship caliber team in one of those cities.
Yep.
A championship caliber team.
You'd be immediately in better position than like 90% of the NBA, maybe more.
If you took half of Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Their GM's a wizard, dude. It's
Sam
ridiculous.
Sam Presti.
He's a wizard. Like I can't even mention his
he's
name.
a Thunder. The Wizards need a real GM. They need help.
That's true. He is a Thunder.
After they get AJ Dybantsa, everything magically gets better.
Yeah,
The Wizards.
Oh, goodness. But yeah, the
Abigail's
rich get
18.
richer, definitely with Steinbach.
Oh, yes. I mean, God, that's sickening.
Yep. All right, Adam.
With the 18th overall pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Charlotte Hornets by Orlando select Chris Cenac from the University of Houston. This is the second Houston guy that we've covered so far. 6'10", 240. Talk all about height on this podcast. I don't want to beat a dead horse. Played at Houston for Coach Sampson. His three-point shot and overall game got better as the year went on, and that's something that I really think that the NBA front offices are going to look at. Why he fits with the Charlotte Hornets? Well, he's practically the same with Morez Johnson, and they need more depth. They need forward depth. We're at the point of the draft where we're getting depth now. We're not getting star power, um, unless you're unless you're going to a team like the Memphis Grizzlies. I mean, you can never have too many 3-and-D guys on the court, and I mean, he can learn from Miles Bridges and Brandon Miller. Hopefully not too much um, off the court, but he can learn from those two guys, and that's going to be great for him. He's a young piece to a great team that has a lot of fire underneath it that LaMelo Ball has given them. So with the 18th overall pick, Chris Cenac, welcome to the Queen City Charlotte Hornets. You got a good one.
Yep. Adam loves his Cougs, man.
I love my Cougs. I love my Cougs. My dad's gonna be happy. My dad is going to be happy while he
Yeah,
watches
he
this
is.
draft. That is for sure.
Yeah, Charlotte's got a good draft. Morez
Ugh.
Johnson and Chris
Still
Cenac.
needs.
Huh?
Still needs. I mean, that's what you got to
Dylan
do.
Nee-
Especially
exactly.
since they're kind of in a position now, be playing, maybe pushing. It's the East. You never
Yep.
know what the playoffs going to look like in the East.
Especially in the East, for sure. All right, chap. Speaking of another Eastern team.
Yes, with the 19th pick in the NBA draft, the Toronto Raptors select Henry Vasar from University of North Carolina, transferred from Arizona. Again, immediate, like North Carolina were dreaming of this guy, bringing him in. Huge ability to stretch the floor, 42% from three for a 6'11", 230 player. Just a phenomenal need. Also, like fits the international brand the Raptors have kept. I know they're in a new era post Masai Ujiri, but he fits the Raptors. NBA comp for us, Nikola Vucevic, again, a great scoring center,
Hmm.
just a good big piece. Why he fits, again, they have a ton of wings that will switch you, that will just put you in a grinder. RJ Barrett, Colin Murray Boyles, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, and this is a center potential upgrade, and they need the next after again, their center is Jakob Poeltl, great, phenomenal, great game named after him. They just need that next guy, and I think Henry Vasar jumps in, fits perfectly.
I love this pick. I think this is the perfect pick. I wouldn't be surprised if the Raptors get another 3-and-D guy because that's what they've drafted for the last 15 years, going back to Pascal Siakam. They traded for Kawhi Leonard, but yeah, I think this guy fits Toronto perfectly. Chap.
David, get us 20.
All right, let's do it. The San Antonio Spurs. The fact that Spurs have number 20 in the draft is crazy, but we don't need to talk about that. The Thunder have 2 picks before them, so I guess I can't really complain. All right, the San Antonio Spurs select Jaden Quintanez from the University of Kentucky. Guys, this dude's a freak. 6'9", 253, but his wingspan is 7'5". Insane. And so obviously he started at Arizona State, played a lot more at Arizona State than he did Kentucky. And the best thing about him is his help side defense and his elite rim protection. I've seen videos of him sitting on the out of bounds line, getting up in the middle of the play and still blocking the dude's shot. So I think the Spurs are going to do it. They've had a great history of projects. Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, even Carter Bryant this year. And they've done really well with all of these. And so I think they take a shot on him. And I love Luke Cornett, one of the greatest homies in the NBA, but they need more depth at the centerpiece. And they need some bulk to put aside Wemby, like kind of like what the Thunder are doing with Chet. And I think Quentin Ince is an amazing position to where if it doesn't work out, it's not a lottery pick. And if it does work out, you could have gotten a lottery pick at number 20 just because he didn't play at Kentucky this year. So the NBA comparison is a Robert Williams, and Robert Williams is kind of stuck in Portland right now. But if you go back to his Celtics days, he was a starter on that that finals team in 22. Lob threat, great defender, and so his offensive game's got to grow a little bit in the NBA, but I see it as well. But if he's anything like he is defensively, he will earn minutes in San Antonio, 1,000%. So I got Jaden Quentin as the 20th pick in the NBA draft. Chap, I know you might have a couple opinions on him, but
Yeah, obviously,
Speak your truth, Chapman.
there's criticisms of Kentucky in this, and I think we'll never know the whole truth until 20 years down the road. Did he know this year was a wash year? We don't know what happened. Again, the Kentucky fans' mindset is not one of appreciation for this guy. I'll always remember how he played in St. John's. That he was selling me the visions of the team. Will always be a what if player for Kentucky, but again, I wish him the best. I'm not going to be a bitter Kentucky fan, so I wish him nothing but the best in the pros.
he's not going to be like Mark Pope's daughter putting an X through his face.
I
Adam,
mean,
get us 21.
Chap, if I was you, you are way too nice. If I was you, this guy didn't play at all for you guys.
He played 4 games. He played 4 games. He looked really
Dude,
good.
he's Shaden Sharp 2.0.
Ready.
And
We
then
lose
he
him.
sat out the rest of the year. And even when he was back from his injury, he decided not to play for Kentucky. And y'all would have gone so much further in the tournament if you had this guy. And for that, I respect you, Chapman, for the fact that you're not upset. Because if somebody on SMU's team did this, we would boo him out
They
of
would
the
not be allowed
arena.
back in Dallas if this was SMU. It's
No, he
Kentucky.
wouldn't. It's Kentucky. How do y'all not take this more seriously?
Oh, they do.
Oh,
They
yeah,
do.
that's true.
Trust me.
They do.
Trust me. I'm not the rule here. I'm an exception here. I'm.
The Kentucky radio, ESPN, has let them know. The call-ins have let them know.
Yes, that
For
is
sure.
very, very true. All right. With the 21st pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Detroit Pistons via Minnesota select Alan Graves from Santa Clara University. I would love to check if this is the first round pick from Santa Clara, but this guy, David's shaking his head now. He's calling me an idiot through the screen without even
You're missing
talking.
one. You're missing one.
You're missing one.
Who?
Jalen Williams from the Thunder.
Oh, balls, actually.
Yeah,
Yep.
and Brandon Pacheski on the Warriors. So
Oh, pause. No. All right.
College
Whatever.
podcast,
Call
not
me
an
an
NBA.
idiot.
it's
all
okay,
you
guys.
want.
Our mid-major guy hit the portal. That was not ACC Adams'
Yeah.
job.
Call me an idiot all you want in the comments. But this guy, Alan Graves, it cannot be overshadowed how good he is. 6'8", 226. Great year at Santa Clara. Going to be looking to go pro from there. And he shot 41% from three on the season. And this guy is elite at one thing, and that is defense. This guy is tough. He can defend. And the fact that he's 6'8" and can do that is the perfect way that the Detroit Pistons can bring back the bad boy Pistons. And we need to see that because they need somebody who can spread the floor and body people for Cade Cunningham to do his thing. He's a younger version of Tobias Harris. And I think that this guy is going to be incredible on that team who was first in the East, but really didn't do enough in the playoffs. But if they get Graves, sorry, watch out for that Detroit Pistons team.
I agree. I love this pick. To quote every NBA front office person in America, he's an analytical darling. And I studied analytics for a year at SMU, and I'm trying to figure out what that means. But in my understanding, he's an elite 3-and-D guy who could just do everything on the floor, right? But he can three-level score, defend 1 through 5, steals and blocks. He does everything. He's going to get minutes on the floor his first year. This isn't a project. And to say that about a freshman, guys, we're in pick 21, and we're talking about a freshman who's not a project, who's going to play like tomorrow if the Pistons had a game. So once again, we cannot underestimate or overestimate. This draft is special. And if Alan Graves is going at 21, any other year, he's a lottery pick. Just is what it is. But hey, he's going to be a great fit in Detroit, and they're going to be happy to have him.
Yes, absolutely. I could not have put that better myself. He's fantastic. He's a
All right,
joy to
chap.
watch.
At the 22 pick, the Philadelphia 76ers via Houston select Dalen Swain from University of Texas. Shout out David this year. Right wing, 6'7", 211, good size. A little like in that weird spot of is he a 2, is he a 3? I'm sure NBA will love him. Philadelphia will love this. Took a huge jump this year. Again, was a good player at Xavier. It's funny. I think some Texas fans probably would have hoped they got Conwell
I
instead.
was just about to say that. Yep.
I don't think they regret getting Dalen Swain. He
Nope.
gets downhill, great finishing at the rim, average 2 steals a game, can guard multiple spots again. He can handle those wings 2 through 4 pretty easily. Can even get down to a one. Biggest thing he needs to work on is he needs to get that three ball consistent to stay on the floor. Philadelphia, we know what they have. They got the future. They have Maxey, they have Edgecombe, obviously Embiid. They just need to add in that wing presence that give them the scoring. Again, feels like he's a younger Paul George, could be a great mentor to him in his career. Again, his ceiling just is a star. He can be a great player. And again, he has some work to go. This is not a he will be a star. This is he can be a star if he takes the steps.
I agree. Could not have said that better. And the Conwell situation is 100% accurate. The growth he averaged his best season at Xavier, Dalen Swain was 10 points a game. This year at Texas, he averaged 18. He got to the free throw line elite. And guys, I'm not saying he's Dybantsa, he's not, but his ability to get to the free throw line like AJ Dybantsa is very similar. He has just a natural ability to score one-on-one. There was many days where Texas just gave him the ball and ran 1-4 offense and just said, get to the hole and get us a bucket. And he had the ability to do that. And so it was really cool to see. Just Sean Miller really developed him very well. And so I'm very excited to see what he does. I think Herb Jones is a great comp for him. And I think Philly is a great organization. You got Maxey, you got Edgecombe. I think it's a great fit for him. So, yeah, I love that pick there.
Very fair. Very,
So
very fair.
I also love this next pick. And guys, with the 23rd pick in the NBA draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Bennett Sturts from the University of Iowa. And
You
guys,
love this
this is a
guy.
great pick. This story is just awesome. He started, we all know it, Division II, Northwest Missouri State. Then he took over that Drake Bulldogs program, and then at Iowa. Won a tournament game at Drake, and then made the Elite Eight at Iowa. Was the leader on every team that Ben McCollum have. And we've raved about Ben McCollum. And who knows if there's Ben McCollum without Bennett Sturts, honestly. Like, he is that vital to that Iowa program. Um, he is just a leader. He's gonna walk in every day and demand greatness out of every Atlanta Hawks player, and I'm excited to see that. His NBA comp is this one was also a struggle, but I said Peyton Pritchard, but I also want to be realistically, he's a way better defender than Peyton Pritchard, and he's 2 to 3 inches taller than Peyton Pritchard. His offensive game is like Peyton Pritchard, and so I think he has the ability to start more games than Peyton Pritchard does right now. He's not just going to be like the on the bench spark plug like Peyton Pritchard. And so in Atlanta, like we said, this is the reason why I had them take Philon. And you're probably thinking Labaron Philon and Bennett Sturts. Yes, I think they can coexist together. And if one doesn't work out, you got another guy. That's another thing about it. They need a point guard. They traded Trae Young. They got Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Yeko Okongwu. They've got size. They need a guard, right? CJ McCollum's getting older. And CJ's a great guy for Bennett Sturts to learn from, to be honest with you. So I think Bennett Sturts to the Hawks here makes a lot of sense.
From D2 all the way to beating Nebraska and leading Iowa to heights that they haven't seen in forever. And this guy's a leader. I hate to say it, he has a high motor.
Athlete, never forget.
Super underrated athlete. But genuinely, David, you mentioned he never came off the court in college.
Never.
He averaged 39 minutes a game at Drake and Iowa.
Insane.
I mean, this guy can do what's required of him, and that's all that matters whenever it comes to the NBA. This guy, he's going to be in the league for 15 years, and maybe we won't ever consider him a star or an all-star, but I mean, he's going to be there, and that's what matters, and that's what you get at pick 23.
Yep, he knows how to run an offense.
Yeah.
Dude, he feels like if he didn't go play for Coach McCollum, he would have found a way to Houston with Coach Sampson. He just seems like one of those type of guys. I feel like Coach Kelvin Sampson would have loved this guy, just taking him on head on. But I'm excited about that pick. All right, Adam.
With the 24th pick, the New York Knicks select Christian Anderson from Texas Tech University. Guns up. 6'1", 180, elite scorer. He jumped from 10 points a game last year to 18 points per game this year. That had to do a lot with the fact that Darryn Williams isn't there. But he's great efficiently, despite a very high amount of volume. He shot 41% from three. on 8 shots a game, which is crazy. He's a great playmaker. He had like 7 assists a game. Um, he fits the Knicks pretty perfectly because the fact that the Knicks already have a team that's built around Jalen Brunson as it should be, it means that they're ready for somebody to come off the bench and really help Brunson with that scoring and playmaking. And Anderson is not perfect right now, but they don't need somebody to be perfect because they have Brunson. He's a low risk pick. He can contribute to the Knicks in any way that is possible. And I mean, if they seek to repeat, they're going to need more depth. Yes, they had an amazing run this year, and I'm never going to discredit that. But the things that Jalen Brunson did would have gotten him accused of witchcraft in the 80s. Like this guy is incredible. They need to give him a little bit of time to rest up, and Christian Anderson is the guy. So,
Yeah.
24th, Christian Anderson would be, in my opinion, a great pick.
I think it's a great pick. You think of the Knicks, they have Brunson, but they also have Deuce McBride and Tyler Kolek, and those guys, like, they're gonna have to pay them, not a ton, but eventually. I don't see them keeping them all, and so they need a backup point guard for Brunson. And I think Christian Anderson will fill that role vividly. He reminds me of Emmanuel Quickley a lot. Emmanuel Quickley was a former Knick. They traded him in the Anunoby trade, which obviously worked out well for the Knicks. But I think they could use some shot making off the bench. And so I think he fits that role perfectly.
As mentioned, the second apron comes for everyone. It will come for the Thunder. It will come for the Knicks.
Yes.
Yep.
Moving on to pick 25, the Los Angeles Lakers select Terrace Reed Jr. from the University of Connecticut, 6'10", 260, rebounder. Again, my first really watching this guy was that Furman game. And I mean, what was it, 29 rebounds? Just record. This kid can rebound. And again, it's Furman, so maybe he's not going to play Furman in the league. But he's a big body, again, 6'10", 260. Quality offensive game around the rim, good rim protector. NBA comp, again, this is a good role player like type to build into. Day'Ron Sharp. And now how he fits on the Lakers perfectly fits the role they need. Again, I don't understand how the Lakers have a revolving door at center year in and year out. He fills it perfectly. He's that good rim prop that they desperately need. DeAndre Ayton sometimes adds, sometimes he doesn't add. So this will be a little more consistent. Again, and also think about the rest of their team. Luka, this is the perfect like Gafford-like center that makes Luka perfect. A lob threat, a down low threat. Again, to help Luka sometimes be a turnstile defensively. You get Terrace Reed behind him, it's not going to show as much. So I'm excited for this pick on the Lakers. Maybe he finally fixes their center position, but who knows?
Yeah. I mean, he was just dominant. He grew so much at Connecticut. It's kind of unfortunate because he transferred from Michigan to Connecticut, and he was never on the natty teams at Connecticut, and he didn't win the ring at Michigan. But that's kind of brutal. But from an NBA perspective, he fits. The Lakers need size. They just do. They need a center. Luka hasn't had his true lob threat yet. Luka's made Jackson Hayes look good at times, so Tyrese Reed will be just fine. Like, that's my opinion on that. So I agree with that one. Jack.
And you mentioned the fact that he's a Gafford-like player, and I got so sad that Luka is not on the Mavericks anymore. That is terrible. But you're right, man. You're right. Luka needs somebody like that who is a lob threat and a rebounder and can do the work for him. And this guy can do it. This guy can do it. Straight up. He's a baller. So shout out to Terrace Reed Jr. 25th overall pick.
Shout out Dan Hurley. I'm sure he's having a great time right now, thinking about how can I be aggressive and yell in June when there's no one to yell at. But all right, the next pick for the 26th pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Denver Nuggets select Malik Thomas from the University of Arkansas. And guys, he's a bucket. He's another Calipari guard, and yes, he's
never bet against it unless it's Rob.
Never bet against it. Never bet against it. And guys, he's only 6'3", 190, which kind of he looked bigger, but I think that's because he was playing next to Acuff. That helps. But he also has an elite ability to get to the rim, 41% from three. He reminds me of a Jamal Murray type. He's not as tall as Jamal Murray, but Jamal Murray is getting older. He's not going to go away. He's a franchise cornerstone, but he is a guy off the bench that could fill the scoring role when Jamal Murray gets tired. He does have defensive concerns, but that's also kind of part of being a Cal guard. Like same thing with Acuff. And his NBA comp is Jordan Clarkson's probably on year 13, 14, and he's going to get a 1 year deal anywhere he wants the rest of his life. The dude's a bucket. Malik Thomas is that guy you see at the YMCA who's still hooping at 85, asking to play one-on-one, still giving them the work. So, like I said, you need more depth on the wing. They got Bruce Brown, they got Jamal Murray, complement Nikola Jokic, and so I think Malik Thomas is a perfect get for Denver here. Low stress, low reward, high reward situation. The ability where I see the floor is higher than most people do on Malik Thomas, but I think Denver is a great situation, and they've had great success in the late rounds. Even Michael Porter fell to the late lottery. Bruce Brown. They've just had the ability to just find winners. Jalen Pickett. Then, so I think that's what they're gonna do right now with Malik Thomas. So, yeah.
They've also had a tried and true formula. Get Jokic some space and he's going to do his work. Malik Thomas is a guy that's going to open up the court just a little bit more for him and let him
Yep.
shoot 23.9-second, 2-footer, hit the moon shots. It's the Jokic special.
As long as you got Jokic, you still got a chance. So,
Yeah, the Nuggets, they don't need a world beater. They need somebody who can complement Jokic and Murray, and that's exactly what Malik Thomas can do. So
for sure.
it makes sense.
All
Another
right, Adam.
compliment. With the 27th overall pick, the Milwaukee Bucks select from Duke University Isaiah Evans. 6'6", 186. This guy heats up like a freaking microwave if he scores. I mean, like, legitimately significant improvement from year one to year two, especially scoring wise. Yes, he's inconsistent, but I mentioned that microwave. When he's ready, he is on. And this guy's, I mean, it reminds me of Brandon Ingram in that way. He can take over games if he's given the ability to. Is he going to be able to do that in Milwaukee year one? I don't think so, especially with Giannis there commanding so much of that ball and presence. But year two, year three, year four, especially with the fact that Isaiah Evans can play great defense, he's going to be getting on the floor. And through that, he's going to be able to impact the game in the ways that he can and the ways that John Shire taught him to. The Bucks need a second option to complement Giannis, like a Chris Middleton, who they gave away and is now on the Mavericks. They trade Giannis. This guy can fit and fill that role for scoring. They need somebody who can pair well with their drafted, hopefully, point guard, which we assumed was Kingston Flemings. But Isaiah Evans at 27? Are you kidding me? You have to take him. You have to take him.
It's a great draft for Milwaukee. Kingston Flemings and Isaiah Evans.
Yeah,
That's some scoring right there.
I would be super happy with that. Super happy.
It's wild to think that Isaiah Evans was a better high school recruit than Con Knippel, but this is where we are in the Big 2-6. So Con Knippel was not even a McDonald's All-American, which I have no clue how, but that's a conversation for another day. All right, chat. This is a fun one.
This is a fun one. With the 28th pick, the Minnesota Timberwolves via Detroit select Ibuka Okori from Stanford University. Shout out Stanford, producing some NBA talent of late.
Mm-hmm.
Again, back to Okori. 6'1", 186, a little small. Led the ACC in scoring as a freshman from Stanford. Again, he did have a high load. Absurd 23 points per game. Proven he can score the basketball, and he's efficient at it. 35% three-point shooter on 6 shots a game. My comp that jumps out. Again, this is crazy at pick 28. It's a Kemba Walker, the kind of small can get you buckets. And how he fits with the Minnesota Timberwolves, they need that future point guard, the post Mike Conley world. And it's coming. They thought it could have been Dillingham, and it wasn't. So they still need to find that guy. He's a similar size to Conley, an elite scorer. Is going to carry the bench unit, maybe one day carry the starter unit and let Ant take some possessions off offensively. And again, you look at their team, defensive players, Rudy Gobert. I know some people don't love watching him offensively, but Julius Randle, big body. This is the type of team that really lets Okori kind of go to work. So I think this could be a really good pick for Minnesota.
This is ridiculous. This guy's a top 10 pick. I'm gonna say that right now. This guy's incredible. I've watched more Stanford games than I care to admit. I probably watched more Stanford games than 95% of Stanford fans. And This guy is incredible. First of all, the fact that he might go number 28, right? Yeah, 28. He should go back to college and win a national championship at Duke, is what he should do. This
Go
guy
Kentucky.
is, no,
No.
not Kentucky. No, Duke. Um, this guy's incredible. This guy is so good. And if he gets to number 28, shoot, if he gets to 30 where the Mavericks are and we don't take him, I'm gonna stop being a fan. I'll be a Lakers fan because of Luka. Like this guy is a world changer. He is amazing. And I cannot stress that enough. Timberwolves fans, if you get this guy at 28, congratulations. Like steal of the draft. Steal of the draft.
Him and Nate Ament were the two that I'm like, I definitely think they're going to be better than where we have them drafted at.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't see Nate Ament lasting into 15, and I don't see Abuko Okori lasting into 28. The problem is all the teams in the 20s above Abuko Okori all need centers.
That's
You notice we ran through a run of centers of
Everyone needs a center.
Henry Vasar, Jaden Quintonens, Taurus Reed, like the list goes on and on. So that's the biggest problem with Okori. But
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not the fact that he's a bad player. It's just his position.
So
all right, David, second to last pick in the first round. Number 29, who is it?
guys, with the 29th pick of the 2026 NBA draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Alex Caravan from the University of Connecticut. And guys, this is a guy who's just a winner, but everybody knows that. So let's talk about his game. He's 6'7", 225, can defend 1 through 4. That dude was guarding Cam Boozer in the Elite Eight. Okay, don't tell me he can't defend. All right. He's got an incredible three-point shot. Why he fits in with Cleveland, okay? He's a winner. Cavs need a winner, okay? They just do. Great player. He's going to get space with Harden and Mitchell. He's going to have more space than he probably did at Connecticut, which is saying something. And his NBA comp is Sam Hauser, who's had a pretty good NBA career. And guys, I think this is a little overslot. Like, I think it's going to be higher than what he's actually taken. But I see the Cavs taking a chance on a guy who could potentially be a 3-and-D guy. Those 3-and-D guys are the most valuable people in the NBA beside a star. And Caravan just does it. Caravan's a culture changer. I think the culture in Cleveland is interesting with Mitchell and Harden, to be honest with you. And I think they need a guy that just goes in there and goes to work. And so I think Caravan's a great example of that. And so that's why I have him going to Cleveland here.
Yeah, my favorite video of Alex Caravan is whenever after the national championship game, Dan Hurley recorded him from his office. He's like, man, this Caravan guy, he just loves the game. And he's just like melting over the fact that Alex Caravan is in the gym the day after or like 2 days after the national championship. And you're right, he's a culture changer. And that's why he was so good. That's why his jersey's in the Raptors at Kentucky. Oh my God. At UConn.
Kentucky.
You wish it was in Kentucky. That's why his jersey's in the Raptors, and that's why he's a first-round pick, straight up. Despite his age, despite the fact that he is geriatric, he is a first-round pick, and he should be for a good reason.
Yeah.
For a very good reason.
All
All
right.
right.
I guess I'm taking the first round. The Dallas Mavericks. Who you got?
Last pick, the Dallas Mavericks from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Nice change. Select from the University of Western Illinois. No, I'm just kidding. The University of Houston, Emmanuel Sharp. Okay, let me explain myself because a lot of people are going to say that he's very undersized to play the 2. Very true. They're going to say that he's not a good enough ball handler to play the 1. That's also true. But you have to realize that he is an amazing defender because he played for Kelvin Sampson, and you have to be to get on the floor in Houston. He's a great shooter. He shot 37% from 3, and some of these shots that he put up, absolute moon balls. Have you seen that meme of Steph Curry shooting from the moon? That is what Emmanuel Sharp did for Houston, and those shots went in 37% of the time. I mean, this guy's great. He's 6'3", 208. What the Mavericks need is we need more scoring to complement Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg is exactly who we thought he was. Thank God. He's going to handle the ball for us, and he's 6'7", and he can cover anybody on the floor. We could put Cooper Flagg on the 2 and have Sharp guard the 1 if we needed to. He had so much shooting for the Mavs, and that's exactly why we need him. I'm not just picking this guy because he's my dad's favorite player. I'm picking this guy because he is a Kelvin Sampson thoroughbred, and he is going to impact the game in more ways than one. And that's what you need from the 30th pick in the NBA draft.
Yeah.
I have another thing I have to add. Talking about him, I was stunned to read he shoots 37% because I feel like every time that Houston needed a shot, he made a
It's
shot.
him.
He shot 100% on shots they needed. So I mean, he's got the clutch gene. That's it's something
Yes.
you can't teach. It's something you're born without.
Yeah. I love the Devin Vassell comparison too, because that dude's a legit starter on an NBA title team. So if that's who he is, then he's gonna play in the NBA for a long time. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And the fact that the Mavericks are not very good right now, this guy is going to get on the floor and he's going to prove himself.
for sure.
Like he has the opportunity to do that. And let's just see what he does. I mean, you're not going to really expect anything from the 30th
Yeah.
overall pick. Yeah, it's a first round pick, but I mean, let's be completely honest with ourselves. If Sharp can get on the floor and can get hot and hit some of those threes, he's going to command more playing time. And
hmm
obviously, I used the word if about 25 times during that sentence, but
That's what the draft is, though.
that's what the draft is. Exactly, David.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, guys, I got one last question for y'all before we hop off. If you were to pick two people in the draft, maybe one lottery, one non-lottery pick that you think will either go higher than we got it or like outperform his position, who would you go with? And if y'all want me to start, I can start, but I'm
I'll
open to
start. I'll start.
Okay.
Okay, I've got about two players who I think are going to go higher than we have. First one, I already expressed a lot of talk about, and that was Ibuka of Kore. I think that if teams, which teams like to do, if they're drafting based on talent and nothing else, which a lot of teams like to do that. I'm not saying it's smart. I think it's kind of stupid. But if they're drafting based on talent and not position, this guy is going to go higher than 28. Straight up, he is better than a lot of the players that we had ahead of him. But as David said, people need centers. The NBA is all about height. It makes sense
Yep.
where we have him right now. But I think that he could go a lot higher. Second, I think that, scrolling through the list here. Okay, Nate Ament, I think he can go a lot higher. But also, Alan Graves, I think, is
Mm.
going to be looked at. He decided not to return back to college. He had huge NIL deals lined up for him. And because of that, I feel like he's at least maybe gotten a promise or two from a team that's in that 10 to 20 range saying, hey, we love your game. Come play for us instead of returning to college. And I
hmm
think that Alan Graves can go higher than we have him right now, but we will see what goes for him.
Yeah, I like it. Chad, you
I
want
got
to go
my
next
two
too?
names. Oh,
You got
I
it,
got
Chad.
my two names. One, again, this is one of those guys where, as it happens in the NFL with wide receivers, you look at the combine, someone just reaches. Cameron Carr.
Yeah.
It's the things you can't teach that, like, yeah, I'll take a flyer at 10, 11. That again, we have him at 16, which I think is a good spot for him, but I could easily see him going higher. Another big one, Jaden Quaintance at 20. I know there's a lot of knee injuries, but again, he's also just that freak that like teams love. And what he could add to as the NBA is getting bigger and it's getting more center, like it's going back to center oriented basketball. He's a guy that's going to add phenomenal defense that teams will love.
hmm I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And all right, I got a couple of guys as well. This guy, I think, is just going to go one pick higher, maybe at his ceiling, but Yaxel Lendeborg. I think that people are going to look at him and realize he could play tomorrow. And yes, his age is scary, but I think Golden State could easily take him over Burries. Just be like, Yaxel's more pro ready. He can handle the ball better, 1 through 5. I can see that. And then also two back-to-back picks of Nate Ament and Cameron Carr. 3-and-D guys are so valuable. I think Nate Ament could go number 10 in Milwaukee. I think that a lot of people have him there because a little bit of the front office is Tennessee grads. But I also think that they could not take him because of that, because he did stumble a little bit this year at Tennessee with all the high expectations. However, 3 and D guys are so valuable, and that's his floor. Like he's 6'10". Your average 3 and D guy is not 6'10". So 6'10" barefoot on the NBA is like 6'11". So I love that. And then I love the Cameron Carr pick, like you, Chapman. I think someone's going to take a risk on him. 42.5-inch vertical, 7'2" wingspan. Just shows you that he can defend. Like if he wants to, like, yes, half of defense is effort, but if you've got a 7'2" wingspan and you're guarding dudes who are in a 6'5", like a two guard range, I mean, you're clamps. You're putting the clamps on them. So I agree. I don't know how Rick Barnes didn't find a role for him his first 2 years at Tennessee. But yeah, I got those three: Yaxel, Nate Ament, and Cameron Carr. Those are the three as well that I could see the most skyrocketing or outperforming their position.
Very fair. And who do y'all have for a player that you think isn't really being talked about enough and that we didn't mention? A player that might go undrafted or a player that you
Mm.
think is just underrated that could really make an impact if he ends up on an NBA roster?
Ooh.
I got a slightly biased one. I know his jump shot is not up to scruff and it's going to cost him getting drafted. Otega Owe will make a career. He is a dog. He is a defender. I mean, again, with the NBA, the better floor spacing, he will get to the rack. So again, I think this year at Kentucky, I don't think his game jumped the way NBA really wanted. I think it's going to cost him going undrafted, but I think he's a guy we'll see on a 10-day contract that ends up with a 2-year deal.
Hmm.
That's fair. I think that's actually a really good shout. Owe is, yeah, he's great. Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh,
For
I got one.
me, oh,
All right,
okay.
you go. You
I
want me to
got
go?
it. Yeah, you go
Trevon
first. You go
Brazil.
first. Okay,
Trevon Brazil from Arkansas.
there we go.
6'7", 6'8", can really shoot the ball and spread the floor. I think he has a potential to be a legit 3 and D guy for a long time in this league. Yes, there are a little bit of character concern, not really character concerns, but effort concerns more. Just like not seeing it all the time. I think that's part of being in Cal's system, to be honest with you. But he's played in Muss's system. He's kind of been a Razorback for a long time. Age is definitely not helping him. But I think that he is legit talent. And honestly, like if I'm the Mavs at 30, I'm taking a look at him. If it falls that way and Okoro's off the board, right? You have no center depth off the board there. Like I mean, I don't know if I'm taking him. It's a little early, but I'm at least taking a look at him at 30. Just I don't think he goes there, but I think he has a legit NBA career. Teron Brazil from Arkansas. That's
Very
my guy.
fair. Like Chapman, I'm going to be biased as well. And the most pro-ready SMU player, in my opinion, is Jaron Pierre Jr. Okay, a lot of people don't know who this guy is, and that's a dang shame because he's a great, great player. He's absolutely electric. He's not going to get drafted, I don't think. And that is because he doesn't really play defense that well. But if you get this guy, he's going to end up in the G League and then he's going to make his way onto an NBA roster. Because in the ACC, he averaged 18 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal in 33 minutes a game while shooting 46%, 37%, and 76% from free throw. That's not great. Here's the thing. He's a 3-level scorer. It's a combo guard that a team can turn into instant offense off the bench. Not He's not going to be a starter. His shot making and athleticism are NBA ready, and his frame gives him the ability to jump into that conversation. He's 6'6", 210, and he handles the ball like Boopy Miller. He's incredible. Um,
Hmm.
the problem is he doesn't care. He doesn't like playing basketball. So so we'll see what he can do. Maybe once he sees the fact that he can make a ton of money in the NBA, he'll recognize that and then go and be productive. But right now he doesn't really care about basketball. He doesn't really care about defense. He didn't like Andy Enfield at SMU at all. But I mean this guy could end up being at his peak of Victor Oladipo in my opinion.
Hmm.
He's
I
great.
love that.
He is great. He could burst onto the scene maybe. But that's
Also
but
a
that's
fun
what we're
player.
doing. We're throwing shots in the dark here. You never know
For
what could
sure.
happen.
Uh, Another player I got a shot. I know we said one, but I got to shout out one more, and it's the complete opposite of Jerome Pierre.
Okay.
Malik Brown from Duke.
Yep.
This man is a talk about a wingspan. Dude's probably got a 7'4" wingspan. Okay, he's 6'8", 6'9", can guard anybody in America. They put him on point guards, they put him on centers. He deflected the pass from when Florida tried to do a full court play to win the game at Cameron. He just is a stopper. He led the ACC in deflections, was ACC Defensive Player of the Year. Yes, the offensive game is not great. Like he was the dude they sagged off of from three, but he just does so much to get him on the court, right? He's defense, he rebounds, he hustles, he deflections, steals, blocks. I'm finding a roster spot for that guy and putting him in the gym with a shooting coach in the NBA, and that's what they're paid to do. And if that's really why you're not taking a risk on him because he can't shoot, then you just haven't watched ball. So that's my opinion on that one. I think Malik Brown, ACC Defensive Player of the Year, I think he gets a shot in the NBA.
Very, very fair. And with that, I think that we've covered all that we need to for the 2026 NBA draft. We got the first 30 players, a couple of players we think could go higher or lower than where we projected them, and of course, some underrated people. And with that, me, Chapman, and David want to thank you guys so much for watching the Three Ball Podcast, where college basketball lives beyond the arc. I hope that you'll have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and God bless.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.